You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, these are rather interesting comments from Colin Cowherd, making a very, very, what I consider to be a very long shot prediction. Very long shot prediction of two college football heavyweights ending up with the Cleveland Browns. Now, one of these, certainly possible. All right, certainly possible. And that, of course, would be Arch Manning by way of the draft. The other one is tricky Nick Saban. What? Now, do not forget, Nick Saban actually has worked for the Browns before he was on Belichick's staff. There he is. Of course, him and Belichick are tight. There they are right there together. But that's Nick Saban, that's Nick Saban, that's Nick Saban, that's Nick Saban. And you see, of course, the GOAT standing next to him, right? He was on that staff with Bill Belichick. Now, you may be thinking, well, there's no way in the pit of Hades, the pit of hell, that Nick Saban would ever go back to the Browns. Except, remember one thing. Technically, Belichick and Nick Saban did not get fired by the Browns. They got fired by the ball club that would become the Baltimore Ravens. Completely different ownership group in Cleveland. All right? Remember? Cleveland moved to Baltimore, became the Ravens. Cleveland Browns franchise was rebirthed, lack of a better way of putting it, later on, right? I think they should figure out how to give the St. Louis, I was going to say the St. Louis Rams, but it wouldn't be the Rams, wouldn't be the Cardinals. St. Louis needs a damn NFL team, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I mean, look how they support that UFL team. That's them sending a message. Anyway, point being, technically, Nick Saban has not gotten fired by this incarnation of the Cleveland Browns, which has nothing to do with the previous Cleveland Browns. But the idea of what's going to be Arch Manning, again, I don't think he's coming out next year, but for the sake of argument, for the sake of takes, I guess, it's being floated out there. Colin Cowherd, and of course, he's big into college and pro football, floated a crazy idea, and it is crazy, I think. The idea of a potential landing spot for legendary coach Nick Saban and Texas quarterback Arch Manning should both be available and interesting in making a leap to the NFL next season. Quote, Nick's a SEC guy, knows the Manning family well. If Arch Manning plays well, if he plays it like B+, A- level, he's going number one in the NFL draft. He could play at a B level. He's probably getting drafted number one overall, even against this crop if he comes out next year. By the way, 6'4", 220. Evidently, some word out of the Manning camp is that motion has gotten quicker. Got a stronger than average arm. Manning intangibles. Plus, he can move like Archie. He's mobile. He's athletic. You know he's dialed in because, well, that's what Mannings do. Shit. I don't think he's coming out next year, but he's going to be a guy. He's going to be. God, do you understand there's a world where we're going to have Arch Manning in games playing Josh Allen, playing Lamar Jackson, playing Patrick Mahomes? The list could go on and on, but that world's going to exist. He's going number one in the draft, Cowherd said on the Herd. Cleveland very likely is going to be the worst team in the league. Nobody's going to lose sleep with that. Arch Manning in Cleveland, ? The owner is Jimmy Haslam, a huge SEC Tennessee booster who loves headlines. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Watson. Shedeur Sanders. What are you talking about, Colin? You got to throw Shedeur in there. That's why he drafted Shedeur, was to make a headline. So Colin's not wrong about that. Arch Manning, Nick Saban make the Cleveland Browns, for an owner who loves chasing headlines, the most interesting team in the NFL. Holy shit. They would capture the headlines for an entire season in the NFL. Not saying the best, they would be the most interesting. So, I mean, we're going to have 6, 7 new openings. I'm guaranteeing you that. If Nick is interested, half of those teams will call him. I mean, that's a wild, out loud thing to bring about and even suggest. But it is interesting. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Do I believe that's going to happen? No. Negative. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern's full. Do I believe Nick Saban is going back to coaching? Yeah, I do. I think he's waiting for this NIL thing to straighten itself out, which is going to happen by way of President Trump. I figure there's going to be some kind of a cap that puts everybody on an even playing field. That's when Nick's going to jump back in. All right. But do I think he's going to the NFL? Look, the one place I think he would go would be the Dallas Cowboys. Same with Belichick, frankly. You know, that's a thing. Cleveland and Bill Belichick. Let's not even go there right now. That's for a later take. So, Barstool Sports, pardon my take, put together a nightmare interview duo for fans of the Texas Longhorns. Former Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield is enough to get an eye roll from the people in Austin. By the way, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL now. He should still be the starting quarterback with the Browns. Anytime I do a Baker video, I put that in. Add in former Texas A&M basketball star Alex Caruso, and it's a rivalry double whammy. So when asked what team they hate more than any other, Caruso brought up Texas. Mayfield quickly agreed with him, finding a common interest. While not many words were used to give their thoughts on Longhorns, quote, losers, Caruso said. Quote, a bunch of losers, Mayfield followed. Mayfield's never been afraid to badmouth Texas when given the opportunity. After all, he was one of the most iconic Oklahoma players of all time. 3 games in the Cotton Bowl resulted in 2 wins for Mayfield, taking great pride in beating the Longhorns. So it's not surprising, you know. It's not surprising that that he would hammer Longhorn fans. Mayfield took them one step further, where Caruso joined in. The Dallas Cowboys were brought up, and the reviews were not great. In fact, the duo believes there's a good amount of crossover in character between Texas and Cowboys fans. Yikes! Quote, Texas fans and Cowboy fans are very similar, Mayfield said. Quote, very delusional. You know, I don't know about that, because most fans I know of the Cowboys think they blow and think they are constantly underachieving. I don't know many Cowboys fans that are high on their own team and have been high on their own team in a very long time. I don't know any of the, and I'm here right here in East Texas. And it's nothing but Cowboy fans for the most part. I don't know a single one that's like, this is going to be the year, man, this team we got. No, it's a bunch of Schottenheimer, question mark, Dak blows, exclamation point, Jerry Jones needs to retire and quit being the GM. That's what I hear. They're pretty, I mean, I think Cowboys fans are actually overly critical of their team. I believe that. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with Baker on that. And I like Baker, but I don't know. I don't know very many Cowboys fans that believe the team is going to be good. Or their quarterback's great, or their owner is great. I don't know those. I guess I don't know them Cowboy fans. The Texas thing, the Longhorns thing, I can believe that. I mean, that's a college thing. It's not shocking at all. Tricky Nicky and Arch Manning together. I got to tell you, Shedeur Sanders fans are going to be madder than hell because I can tell you right now, it's already started. They're going to be hearing about Arch Manning every week, probably, this whole season. I mean, they think Shedeur is the quarterback of the future, and a lot of people believe the Browns may be the worst team in the league, very possible. And if he doesn't get a considerable amount of playing times to audition, shit, them Browns fans are going to lose their ass because this team, if Arch comes out and they're in position, they're taking him. That was the whole point of all that Jacksonville trade and all that maneuvering by Andrew Berry was to get in a position to draft Arch Manning or Garrett Nussmeier or Drew Aller. But it's to take a quarterback early in the draft. We'll have to see. Tell me what you think. Nick Saban, Arch Manning team up. I don't think so. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Before we jump in, make sure you go to our merch store, our Make Basketball Great Again shirt, and our newest shirt that just came out. Both shirts are brand new. The American Flag Skull Fever Enforcer shirt. And use promo code CC22 for 20% off.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.